but don't lose the ability to feel freedom before you make a certain amount of money. Don't lose the ability to feel a certain amount of vitality and love for your body before you hit a fitness goal. Don't throw away all the good parts about how you're doing now to reach a goal in the future. If you look online, as far as goal setting goes, and I mean, how many of you do goal setting? But people say set SMART goals, time sensitive, attainable, measurable goals. These are SMART goals. And while that may help you get to a result, I think that there's a deeper underlying thing below the SMART goal that you're trying to hit, which you can't forget about. I'm talking about setting goals with a vibe. This is something I do all the time, and I think more people should do this. It's very, very useful and easy and important, and it's more honest, I think, with ourselves. So if you set a SMART goal that says, I want to make $5,000 by 2 weeks from now, SMART, attainable, measurable, targeted, great. You might end up doing it. You can measure that, you can get there. However, why are you doing it? Probably you're doing it because when you get that $500 or when you make that $5,000, probably what's going to happen is you're going to feel a certain vibe. You're going to feel, yes, I know I can accomplish this now. Yes, I have this money to now pay something off. I can afford a dinner at this very fancy club or a restaurant. But you didn't set that vibe as the goal, when in actuality in your mind, the real goal wasn't the $5,000. The real goal was how it made you feel and what that meant to you. So why not start by achieving that goal? So if you want to have a life where you're feeling like you can achieve something, you want to feel like you've proved something to your ego, let's say. A lot of times that's where our goals come from. You want to feel like you are capable. You want to prove that to yourself and to other people. Just be honest with yourself. And then do the goal coming from that position. So rather than having the goal be, I'm going to make $5,000 in 2 weeks, have the goal be, I'm going to prove to myself that I'm enough. And once you realize that that's actually the goal, you're going to start to probably rethink the way that you go about it. All right? That one in particular is a insecurity-based goal. But now let's take another goal, something that's not based on insecurity, something that's more based on inspiration. You want to go on a trip to another country. Maybe let's just say Madagascar, because that's a cool country. And most people haven't been there. I want to go on a trip to Madagascar. Why do you want to do that? It doesn't matter, really. Why do you want to do that? There's probably a vibe that you want to have by the end of it. Maybe the goal is, I want to throw a party. I want to throw an awesome party. So it's like, okay, well, it's an awesome party. What does that mean? The real goal you actually have is the feeling you're going to get from throwing that awesome party. That is actually what matters to us. That's what actually matters to me. That's what actually matters to you. So set that as the goal first. It may not be measurable. It may not be time bound. It may not be very achievable. So it's not technically a SMART goal, but it's an honest goal. It's much more honest, because imagine you threw a party that checked all these boxes, but actually sucked and wasn't fun for you because you were anxious the whole time. I mean, you met your goal kind of throwing an awesome party, but it sucked. Like, you didn't actually meet the goal. You didn't feel good about it. So let's be honest here. What's the goal? Let's say the goal is to throw a party. What do you want to feel like during the party? What kind of vibe do you want to be there? What kind of vibe do you want to feel after it's done? What do you want the people who attended it to feel like when they're done? So that's where you're going to start now. Start from the vibes. And this is what I call setting goals with vibes. So you're going to take the vibe, right? Let's say you want to throw this party. Fun, laughter, a sense of intimacy, a sense of new connections and meeting people and feeling comfortable doing that. And having people who came to this feel like, wow, I can come here and I can meet new people and it's chill, but it's also funny and it's also fun. So that vibe right there was the goal. And then from there, you work backwards, and you kind of have to like be creative about it, right? What are you going to do to make someone feel comfortable and feel like they are getting closer to the other people? You'll probably have to find a way to throw the party in a place where there's not super loud music, so you can't go to like a certain club that's playing music super loud, so that eliminates that possibility. You probably want to have a few clumps of people who already know each other, so it's people are still meeting each other, but they're still comfortable. And then you have a venue and a way to hang out, a game, an activity, something that everyone can be doing rather than just sitting there, that's going to increase the vibe. So maybe it's a game, or maybe it's just asking them to help cook or prep the food so everyone's included in that. Rather than chasing hamster wheel type miscellaneous goals, you chase the feeling that you're going to get after it. So let's pick a bigger example, financial freedom. This is something that takes a lot of work and investment. There's a bunch of YouTube online gurus teaching how to do this. Maybe I'll teach it at some time. I'm not qualified yet. Why would someone want financial freedom? Why would you want the ability to be a nomad? It's a very popular idea, and it's very enticing to me, where you can do all your work on a laptop and live anywhere. Why is that? Why do you want to do that? It's not because you just want to sit in a cafe in Paris rather than a cafe in, Chicago. The reason is because there's a certain vibe there that's interesting. There's a vibe there that feels free. You want to experience and taste the sense of freedom. If that sense of freedom wasn't there, it wouldn't be interesting. It wouldn't feel good. If that sense of safety from having extra income wasn't there, then why would it even be appealing? It's just a lot of work. So really, what you want is the vibe. And then what you can do is when you're starting at the vibe instead of at a random ass goal. So let's say the goal is to make $200,000, right? Let's say that's your goal for a year. You want to make $200,000. But you don't even check the vibe. You don't do a vibe check. What would that feel like? Why is it? What's the actual reason that you want that? What kind of safety, flexibility, freedom does that feel like? That's the real reason that you want it. Because if getting that 200,000 didn't provide that, you wouldn't want it. Just seriously, you wouldn't. Check with yourself. I wouldn't want it. And then what you can do is you can start with the vibe and say freedom, possibilities, safety and security. Take that vibe and then find other ways to get it too. Find other ways to quench your thirst that aren't necessarily a goal that's going to have you running in circles. So you can start, and then you can actually achieve what you want. Now, I'm not saying that you shouldn't try to make $200,000, but it's just better to be honest with yourself about what you actually want. And then that way, you're not hoping to get more out of the $200,000 than you initially thought you were going to get. And it also lets you taste the reward right now. You can almost feel how good it would feel. I can almost feel how good it would feel to have $200,000 dropped on my desk right now, and that extra freedom, flexibility that would provide, and the actual things I would literally start doing it with it tomorrow if it happened. And the cool thing about this too is that vibe right there. What are you going to do with the $200,000? I'm going to go on a trip to Yosemite for a camping trip with the best gear in winter. I don't even know if it's open in winter. I feel like they close the roads sometimes. But then I realized, I could do that now, just with a little bit of meticulous saving and aiming of my expenses in the right way and saving up some vacation time at my job. And that way I'm living more fully rather than having to say, I can't be happy until I get this thing. I can't experience what I want to experience about this goal until it happens. So hopefully now you understand the idea that all goals that you have are predetermined by a vibe. And what you really want is the vibe. You don't necessarily want the goal. Even if it's a health goal, like I want to do this exercise my doctor recommended so I don't die soon. That's a vibe of safety and accomplishment and feeling like you're taking care of yourself by doing what your doctor asked you. It's all a vibe. So you're going to say, well, if I can feel the sense of satisfaction and safety and freedom, if I can feel the vibe already before I've achieved the goal, if I can feel what it's like to have the $200,000, or I can already feel what it's like to be at a certain fitness goal, then why would I have the motivation to do it? Because isn't the motivation based around the sense of insufficiency from not having it? Yeah, that's a good point. What I would say now is you start with the vibe. And then once you have that and you've determined the way that makes the most sense for you to live that vibe that you're trying to do it. Now, what's a better word for vibe? To live that feeling and that expression and that possibility in your mind. To live that, then you can drop some SMART goals underneath it consciously and say, yeah, I'm going to do this practical thing by this time with this level of measurability to reach the goal. And then I'll be able to more fully appreciate how I'll feel. But don't lose the ability to feel freedom before you make a certain amount of money. Don't lose the ability to feel a certain amount of vitality and love for your body before you hit a fitness goal. Don't throw away all the good parts about how you're doing now to reach a goal in the future. Don't do that, because it'll make you sad. And it has for me in the past, and I don't want you to feel sad. But thank you for watching to the end of the video. I really appreciate it. And I can't wait to make some more for you soon. So I'll see you in the next one. Bye-bye.